Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. Someone just asked a question about whether or not they can own land within a national reserve or a conservancy. You're watching Own Land in Kenya. I am Solomon Wangwe.
That's good.
Answer is it depends. So strictly speaking, if you're talking about national reserves, national reserves and conservancy are the same thing. A national reserve is owned by the government on behalf of the people of Kenya. Tsavo National Park, Mount Kenya National Park, Nairobi National Park, these are all national reserves owned and managed by the national government. That is a completely separate thing from conservancies, which is the same thing, but it's a name used for privately owned and managed reserves for wildlife, basically. And so the answer is no. For national reserves, you cannot own land within those. Those are public lands. And if someone tells you that they can sell you a piece of land within a national reserve, run away and take the extra step and report them to the authorities, because they're trying to defraud you and others. For conservancies, that's a completely different story. These are privately owned, and private owners are free to deal with their property whichever way they deem good or necessary for them within the confines of the law. Good example is, for example, Olpejeta. We visited Olpejeta a couple of weeks ago. I hope you caught those episodes. If you haven't, please go through the archives and see those. Olpejeta Conservancy is about 90,000 acres of privately owned conservancy. One of the most famous in Africa. They have all the big five and many more, healthy population of wildlife, very closely located relative to Nanyuki town. And a few years ago, they decided to raise capital to help them manage this massive property and protect the wildlife, particularly the elephant and the rhino, which to this day are being poached for their horns. And so they came up with this ingenious idea, in my view, to hive off 1,000 acres from the 90,000 acre parcel and master planned these very well designed, thoughtfully designed residential units, 100 in total. So the idea was to build these 100 homes within the 1,000 acres. The buyer of each home would pay 33 million shillings for each property, and they would also, in essence, share the 1,000 acres with the others. So you're not getting your own compound. They hived off the 1,000 acres, fenced off a few herbivores within the 1,000 acres. So you have warthog and giraffe and antelope running around your home, which is kind of nice. But you own the property communally. In essence, you have a 10-acre share of the 1,000 acres. And this way, they raised enough capital to keep the conservancy operations going. They could do that because this is privately owned and managed land. You cannot do that for a national reserve owned by the government of Kenya. So there's a clear distinction. And whether or not they make that available to you is completely up to them. It's to their discretion. They're not obligated to selling you land within their conservancy if they don't want to. And I hope that answers your question for you out there who are wondering about owning land within conservancies. For obvious reasons, it's beautiful, you have wildlife, it's a protected environment, which is great for you as far as long-term value is concerned. You're sure that your neighbor is going to maintain the look and feel of the area, as opposed to starting a pig farm next to you and killing the environment and the reason that brought you there in the first place. So do your homework, as always. As I said, do your homework. Don't be lazy. Ask questions, find out what the law says, and you'll be in good stead. We're more than happy to engage with you. Send us your comments through our YouTube channel. Share and like. You can even give us a call and check out our website as well. You've been watching Own Land in Kenya. My name is Solomon Wangwe. Stay tuned for more information on strategic land investment.